This is something of a dream come true. 10 years now as a nomad. In a few months as I'm recording this, 10 years as a nomad. And I have been tethered to Verizon towers for 10 years as I travel, because I am a digital nomad. I know I look old. I'm not as old as I look, and I'm not retirement age, and I'm not on any kind of situation where I don't have to work, so not independently wealthy or anything. So I work as I travel, and I work so that I can travel. And one of the challenges has been, because I'm a digital nomad, I have to be online for work, and that means I have to make sure that I'm traveling and camping in places where I have usable Verizon signal. And when I first started out traveling full-time, I was doing freelance writing, and as a freelance writer I needed internet, but I needed nowhere near as much internet. It wasn't very long before I started getting into video and doing video editing professionally for different clients, and then I needed a lot of internet. I not only needed a cell signal, I needed really good cell signal. There was large data plans and very fast transfer speeds for uploads and downloads, so that it was even possible for me to do my job. So I've been watching Starlink. They came out with a roam or RV plan a year or more ago now, and I thought about upgrading, but the dish was kind of big and it used a fair bit of power, and I was kind of like, well, you know, sometime, how much of the year is it going to be enough of a problem? How many months out of the year is it enough of an issue that's worth the expense, right? The monthly service, the cost up front for the hardware, the power consumption, all of it. So I was thinking about it, but I was procrastinating. And I was about ready to pull the trigger a couple months ago, and I heard they were coming out with a Starlink Mini. And it was supposed to be much smaller and lighter and use a lot less power, hopefully. And I thought, oh, well, I'm going to hold out for that. And then they came out with a Mini, and I was trying to find reviews, and I have not found a whole lot of reviews. I found a few. Some of the ones that I've seen were done when it first came out, and the service was only available as an add-on to your existing standard kit plan. So that wasn't like as helpful as it could have been for me. Anyway, then they went and came and the standard kit had been $500. This was available. They put the standard kit on sale for $299, and this one came out at $599. So, oh man, maybe it'll switch. Well, it hasn't switched yet. It's late September, and I finally just gave up and ordered it, because this, if it works for us, is going to allow me to travel and camp in places I want to travel and camp without having to worry about a Verizon cell tower. So we're going to get this thing going. We're going to unbox it today, and then we'll test it out. We're in the middle of some van projects, and as soon as those projects are done, we'll take this thing out in the wilderness and do some serious testing on it. I'll try using it for real and see how it does. But in the meantime, if we get a chance to do a day trip or something, we'll take it along too. But we wanted to get it unboxed, show you this, show you my initial impressions, and there will be another video or two coming with more details about how well it performs. And one quick note on shipping: they told me when I ordered it, it'll be 2 or more weeks to get it, and they actually shipped it within a few days via FedEx, and it arrived rather quickly, so quite a bit faster than I was expecting. So we're going to get this go, but if you look at it, it's light. I think the actual weight was 5.1 pounds, if my memory's right from the shipping label, which is pretty impressive. So we'll get into it. I mean, nobody wants a long unboxing, right? But you gotta love these little zipper tabs. I mean, that's kind of satisfying all by itself. Here we go. Don't want to open it the wrong way and drop it on the floor before I even get it out. Okay. We come with a handy dandy diagram and more packing material that we can use for our reselling business, because we sell on eBay too. Man, this thing is tiny. Wow. Look at this. It's tiny and it's quite light. This is the dish side. You have to point at the sky. It has a little kickstand on it. And let's see. There's the port where it plugs in on the back here. I don't want to go too into details because I haven't read the instructions yet, but that's kind of the obvious stuff. And let's see, we have, I don't know what that is. I'm sure there's a purpose, or else Elon just likes doodling, which could be, I don't know. There's the cable. I believe this is a 50-foot cable. This one is designed to run on, from what I understand, this runs on DC, and it takes about half the power of the standard one, which if you're camping and you're on solar, that's a really big deal. The two things I heard many people say, digital nomads is what I primarily was concerned with because of my interest at work and everything, was that it's kind of bulky to get it in. The standard one is kind of bulky to get into your van or RV, especially if you have a smaller rig, and it pulls a fair bit of power, which can be challenging to keep powered up if you need to work for 8 or 10 or 12 hours a day, which sometimes I do. So it runs on DC. I believe this one is designed to plug in. One end plugs into here, into the dish. The other end plugs into an AC receptacle. There is an option to run this thing straight on DC through USB-C connection, which I will be looking into. I'll let you know how that. I'll let you all know how that goes. But this is small and it's light. This is exciting. Okay, here's our charger brick for the AC power. A little dust on it, no extra charge for that, and that's where the cord plugs in on the end of this thing too. So we'll be definitely checking out the straight up DC. And this is a pole mount that we're going to have to experiment with and figure out. And I don't know if it fully replaces this one or clips onto it, but in any event, it does come with a pole mount. There are additional accessories you can get from Starlink. And I will be figuring out a pole mount situation so that we can mount it on the RV or on the van, whichever is appropriate at a given time. Let's set that thing up. Whoops. Oh, I had it upside down. Sorry about that. There we go. No. All right, there we go. Okay, there's our kit. We're aiming at the sky. We can pretend we're aiming at the ceiling of the trailer for right now. We'll get it configured in just a minute and operational. As of the time I'm recording this, Starlink has changed their plans a few times, the available plans. There's no contract with Starlink service, which is great on one hand because you it's billed in full month increments, so you can use it. Say you're traveling part of the year, you can use it, but then you're in town somewhere and you have internet, you don't need it for a month or 2 or 3. You can cancel it, then reactivate it, but it is done in full month increments. As of the time we're recording this, late September 2024, they've just raised the unlimited internet plan from $150 a month to $165 a month. Now, I know some people think that's a lot of money. If you've priced out data from Verizon or AT&T to get unlimited, well, you can't get unlimited, but to get hundreds of gigabytes a month that you might need if you have a business like I do, you're going to spend as much or more. So it's a good value for me, and the ability to get out in the wilderness where there are no cell towers makes it a very, very good deal, and to take it with me wherever I go. So excited about that. I have occasionally heard people be frustrated with Starlink because it didn't work where they were. I was just trying to find a coverage map on the website before I unbox this thing, and I can't find it again. I have seen it before, and as of, this is going back 6 months or a year, the coverage was pretty good in Western North America, but if you were like in the Eastern U.S. or even parts of the Midwest, it was kind of spotty still. They're actively launching satellites, so this gets updated as time goes on. But as last time I knew, it was pretty good out in the Western U.S., a little bit iffy in the Midwest and Northeast, so Eastern U.S. So make sure if you're in one of those areas that might be affected that you find that coverage map so you can make sure it's going to work in your location or the location where you plan to be traveling and hanging out, so you're not disappointed and frustrated with it. Okay, so that's it. Anyways, very little to it. We'll figure out the pole mount later. For right now, I should want to see if we can get it going. Oh, there is some paperwork here. Looks like a basic manual of some sort. If I can get it open without tearing everything. Let's see. Well, there's lots of little print there. What is this? Is this like a setup manual or something? I don't know. We'll have to look at this later. It doesn't really say what it is, other than something about regulatory compliance, so maybe this is not helpful. I do have the app already installed on my phone for Starlink, and it's cool because you open it up and you can point to the sky. It'll tell you which way you got to point your dish to get the best signal. It's generally, as I understand it, generally that's going to be the northern sky, and So you do have to watch out if you have a lot of tall buildings around or trees around. That might be a challenge. So you want to make sure you can find an opening. One more thing I was going to mention with this one, with the standard, you have the dish and you have a separate router, Wi-Fi router. This one, it's all integrated. So it's all in there, the satellite receiver dish and the Wi-Fi thing. So if you do position this like outside your RV or outside your house and it's a long ways away, you might have a weak Wi-Fi signal. You might have to get into like having a Wi-Fi booster, but as long as you can position it somewhere near to where you're actually at, it should be all very, very simple. Next step, we'll go ahead and fire up the app and get this thing going and sign up for service and activate it. And we'll do a preliminary test today, make sure it's working, and then we will very, very soon get out into the wilderness where we do not have cell signal and do some tests with this and see how it performs. So let's get this thing activated with a plan so we can try it out and see how it works. It's a leather seal. All right, so we got it through the wall. It just happened to go through this wood piece we've put on here to mount curtains on. The wood piece is glued to the wall. The structure on this thing's really tough to mount curtains because there's not enough framing or anything. That's why we did this, but happened to come through that. Installing grommets on both sides. These are just little rubber grommets. They're pretty cheap, but they're used for electrical work to keep the wire from chafing. And I'm particularly worried about outside where we're rubbing against the fiberglass. Probably not as much of a deal inside. So we'll get this on anyways, just to make sure, since I've got them. And then we'll run it down and coil it back up and get it nice and tidy. And from there, we'll go ahead and power it up and finish getting it connected. All right, so everything is set up and working perfectly. See it mounted up on the roof of the trailer here. I don't know if we'll do something a little fancier at some point, but that works for now to keep it secured properly. Well, of course, we'll have to do a mount on the van as well so we can mount it securely when we're camping or traveling somewhere. But working great, clocking 150 Mbps down, 15.9 up, which is really solid. I'm very happy with that. That's plenty adequate for me to be able to work and do the kind of things I need to do, including large data transfers. So it's all configured. The Wi-Fi is working. Very simple to set up. The app that comes with the Starlink app literally walks you through every step of the process. Very simple to set up and configure, and it just works. So really happy with that. As soon as we get a chance, like I said, we're doing some van projects right now. As soon as we get a chance, we'll get the van out, bring the Starlink with us. We'll do some tests out in the backcountry, let you know how things are looking for real. But we're happy with it. It's not using a lot of power. It seems to be averaging around 40 some watts on the Blue Eddy, which is pretty respectable. So I'm happy with that. And I'm going to go use it some tonight and let you know how things go in the future. But for now, that's our setup and configuration. Everything's working, and so far I'm very happy with it. So we'll keep going with it, put it through the paces, doing some real work, and we'll be back in another video and share an update with that, how things are going with more real world usage once we have a chance to fully test it out. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're not yet already, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks, everybody.